After sustaining a bad ankle sprain, I covered the road to recovery in my last 2 episodes, but I was starting to feel better again and I was able to do more again. So after a few little unfilmed practice sessions, I wanted to attempt jumping over a little gap near my local skate park again. For this, I brought the big camera again, but unfortunately I forgot to switch the audio setting to the internal mic, so I recorded no sound. To make it fit though, I present you the footage in black and white with some modern silent movie music. I got a bit closer to landing and riding away from that gap, but even though I tried a different angle this time, it just doesn't look that cool. The run-up is a bit too short, and if I could, I would just ollie over it, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna try it again because it's just nothing great to look at. And that last part, I just wanted a clean ollie over it, which shouldn't have been as difficult as I made it out to be. I just wanted a nice and high ollie, but they ended up being just meh. After my kid had his nap, we went out for another session to a new parking lot I spotted. For me and for the point where I'm at in my skating, that was a great and fun session. Those were my first ollies to manual I've done since I'm back on the board, and I got them quickly. And that gave me such a boost that committing to a shove it all of a sudden no longer was a problem. Not just that, but filming the line was a big surprise to me. I wanted to do a line as a practice for myself, but also for my wife filming. Out of 6 tries, I only didn't land it once, and landing both the caballerial and fakie big spin in succession was a big surprise for me and a big win for me, especially doing it that consistently. So that gave me a big boost. There's also a gap there that I still want to try, but the run-up isn't that great, and I decided to end my session while still on top, leaving the gap for another day. I need to practice a bit more to do that anyway, so my next session was a practice routine run.
Lights out and away we go.
I tried to up my routine a bit by working on doing a proper kick turn on the banking before I ride down to manual it, and of course I wanted to nail both in one turn. Then I decided to try some big spins on the banking, and even though I'm still not going a full 360 degrees, I'm happy I landed them this consistently. But for my next session it was time to face my fears again. I hadn't skated my homemade rail for about 4 weeks when I tried to put it over a gap and board slide it, but I kept sticking and eventually sprained my ankle. Now 5 weeks later, I think it's time to get back on the rail again. I think my ankle had been ready for this for about 2 weeks now, but I kept putting it off. But this night I decided to go out there with the rail and just try to get over the fear. I would be happy to just land on the rail and slide a bit, or maybe just land the tiniest baby board slide. It was pretty scary to get back going again, but eventually I got the feel back. Yet I was a bit too scared to drive really fast, so I figured I had to wax the rail a bit more to get some sliding going, and once I did that, I started getting somewhere. When I decided to do one last try, of course that was the one that I actually rode out into the sunset. I'm really happy I pushed myself to try again and managed to get it going. But from now on I have to skate the rail at least once a week to get good and comfortable with it. But all in all, it has been the best week in skateboarding ever since I started again, with a lot of wins, which of course feels great. Let's see what happens next, but of course not every week can be full of big wins and gains. But if you subscribe to my channel, you can follow my journey and my progress in my next episode.
Ik ben zo voor Billy heen gereden. Oh, moet ik Billy even in een mandje zitten?
Ja.
Wil ze gaan drinken?
Nee.
Nee? Oké. Oep, daar ging Billy weer.
De Bunny weer.
Ja,
De Bunny.
daar ging de Billy weer. Ja.
Ja.
Ja, ja. Wat viel het je? Kom Vicky. Even minder scraping, maar